Hey everybody. So yeah, I've been fighting with bugs with this animation form for days now. And I normally do all my coding directly in this live or in this video live. But I actually had to take two fairly long sessions to sort of wrap my head around what in the world is going on. And then, yesterday, basically what I found out was that um, I had I had two small bugs left, and one of them was sort of the oldest bug in the book that you get in JavaScript, and the other one it was just sort of a local um, something that just works a little differently in this little component. So the first one is, like I said, the oldest bug in the book, um, and basically it's just a rookie mistake. I said if the prop start value exists or the prop end value exists, then go ahead and do this work. And well, the problem is if either one of them is zero, that's false, and um, and then that would come back as false. So basically, it wasn't running, it wasn't updating the start or the end. If the value was zero, so then it was triggering the whole table to redraw. Which, since the form was part of the table, it was causing so you couldn't type in multiple numbers. You couldn't be like, 11, because basically the whole thing would just redraw. So that was a rookie mistake. Probably the first time I ever implemented this bug was like in 1996, and that was before double equals even exist or triple equals even existed in JavaScript. Uh, yeah, sometimes you make mistakes, or sometimes you make even the oldest bugs. You need a little reminder. The second thing that was kind of causing an issue is the current value gets set to the the start position. So the start position wasn't working because the current value was different. So when the table did the comparison, it saw that there was a difference. So there's that. So got that working, and yeah, I think that's that for the animations. And and then basically that's that for the spotlight, or the spotlight. So that's good. So basically, what's next is to commit this and then uh, pull out a all the light as much of the light logic that I can out of this ThreeJS service, and move it back in. So all's well that ends well. But man, I've just been racking my brain over the last couple days on why this animation form has been such a problem child. For the most part, I've been able to make changes, and maybe I'll get a bug here and there, but for some reason, this animation page has been a just a mess. And I will say that anytime I ever look at code and I see stuff like this, it tends to be buggy. And this is sort of an indicator when you do this. That's anytime you're doing this, that means you're doing some kind of abstractions. You're like kind of you don't you have to work in a generic way for generic solutions for some reason. And sometimes it's for good reasons, and then sometimes it's not for such great reasons. And I think this is a situation where I think as time goes on, see, like this kind of thing, as time goes on, what this animation form, I think, is going to get more and more buggy. And I think the reason is, and I don't know this, I'm just trying to figure this out. I think the thing is the hierarchy on every other page is based on the object, and then you sort of and so everything's kind of listed in the objects. So mesh one, and then the properties are sort of second. Um, so so I think that is I think that so I think as I move through this, as I've been rotating through all the different things, what's happened is since everything else is based on the hierarchy of the object, I'm further reinforcing that paradigm. I'm making everything more and more object based, and as the the top of the hierarchy. Um, and then I come to animation, and suddenly it all gets flipped on its head, and now we're the property is the top of the hierarchy, which I thought was a good idea because it seemed like to me that it would be more like what you'd want to do is you want to say, oh, okay, I want all these things to align on the starting position of Y. And like I wanted to be able to make changes in real time and then see those changes as they happen. And I thought I'd want to do that at a property level. So, like if I animated both of these meshes, um, that the property would be the important thing. And and then the let's see, and then I would be like, when I would come over here into animations, what I would care about is the property, and it does feel like that. Like, um, it kind of seems like I generally want to work on the properties, but um, you know, uh, to get the effects that I want. But I'm curious what happens if I make these. But it doesn't seem like it seems like that is really problematic from the like it's causing breakages. It's causing this to be very out of sync with the rest of the system. Oh yeah, because I have some kind of bizarre number over here. I don't think you can see see two. Um, yeah, holy cow, that is so cool. Anyways, yeah. So I think that is like the main issue is that um, I think I in order to avoid this in the future, um, I probably need to change animation to where it's like you see a list of animatable objects and then you can dig into those animatable objects and update them. Now, one thing that is kind of a bummer in this, um, the way this, because of the real estate and all that, you can really only, and you can only mess with one object at a time. And I guess, the thing that's nice about this is that you can mess with multiple objects of the time on the properties. So if you were just like, oh yeah, I want to be able to, mess with the X and the Y of these two at the same time. Um, but it's probably going to be in my best interest to, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So basically, as soon as I move this, um, as soon as I create a light service and move that stuff out, um, and then I get rid of the forms and the subscriptions from the interface because the light interface still has this sub and form, and I want to get rid of those, um, refactor those out, and then kind of I don't know, do whatever. I don't think there's anything else to do in cameras. Um, I think that is pretty much done. Um, because I know you can. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we want to change the anything else in here. And I refactored that the orthographic. Oh, so probably what I want to do next is right now I have like double. Another early decision that kind of hasn't worked out is I have like a double um, orthographic. an orthographic form and a data form and perspective data view and a perspective form, and I probably want to get those so that I don't have the duplications. So that'll probably be what I do next for cameras, and then um, oh, but I think actually I'll probably be doing scene next, but I don't think there's anything at all to do in scene. So, and I believe scene already has its own service. Oh no, it doesn't. Okay, so yeah, that'll be next for scenes. Is I'll put them in their into their own service, and then uh, I want to add a new kind of animation, so I'll probably do that next in animations, and then move on to mesh, and probably add a new kind of mesh. Um, and we'll see. We'll see what happens when I add the new mesh and add a new light. If like if the animation forms and all that just kind of melt down again, and start having all kinds of issues. Hopefully that won't be the case, um, but maybe it will. I like I said, I'm sort of I've been doing this stuff for a long time, but I'm thinking that maybe I this is something new for me to learn about, the way this um, works. Could be that it doesn't make sense to keep animations like kind of around the properties, because everything else isn't around the properties. Everything's around the items. Um, but I don't know. Uh, so so yeah. So this is like, you don't know everything. You definitely don't know you don't know everything. And this is one of those things that I just don't know. I don't know why this thing is so. I don't know if this was a one-off, and now it's gonna stabilize, or if every time as I move, as everything else sort of grows and as it starts to scale out, if animation is just gonna constantly break all the time and just be an issue. So that's that. Uh, I'm glad to have all these animation bugs behind me, at least for this round. And I am definitely going to be a much happier coder tomorrow. Happy coding, everybody. Bye.